Good morning, children. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to talk about how to overcome difficulties. In English we call it as adversities. The other adversities. Okay, how to overcome difficulties or adversities. There was one Helen Keller. You might have heard of her. You might have learnt about her sometime or the other. She was just 1.5 years old when she got some scarlet fever or something, and that made her blind and deaf for the rest of her life. Just imagine, all of a sudden when she was just 1.5 year old child, she became blind and deaf. But then it was a very difficult job for her parents to handle a child who had all of a sudden become deaf and blind. They engaged one teacher, and that teacher's name was Miss Annie Sullivan, and she was such a compassionate teacher. She had great love for Helen Keller, and she exercised lot of patience to teach her. Now, for instance, she will take Helen Keller near the tap and open the tap and allow water to run, and one hand of Helen Keller, Annie Sullivan, will keep it under the tap, and in another hand palm, she will write W-A-T-E-R. In the palm she will write. One hand of Helen Keller will be under the water, and in another hand palm she would, Annie Sullivan, the teacher, would write W-A-T-E-R. So it took a long time for Annie Sullivan to teach Helen Keller simple ordinary words, but still she had great patience and dedication, and she taught her quite well. Annie Sullivan taught her so very well that Helen Keller became a well-educated person. She grew up as a well-educated person. She has written 12 books. Just imagine, you and I cannot write even one book, but she wrote, being blind and deaf, she wrote 12 books, it seems. And she has founded an Helen Keller International Organization which helps many disabled people. Thousands and thousands of handicapped people were benefited by this Helen Keller organization. See, though she had lot of difficulties, she had handicap and all that, but still Helen Keller became a successful personality. And one day a newspaper reporter asked her, it seems, what do you think is worse than being blind? What do you think is worse than being blind? Then Helen Keller said that, said this following statement. What did she say, it seems? Though you are gifted with the power of vision, but if you cannot see things clearly, then it is very bad. It is worse than being blind. What does she say? That means many of us who are able to see are worse than blind people. Why? Because she says, if you cannot see what is right and what is true, then it is worse than being blind. This is very true, is it not? When many of your parents and teachers say to you, most often they say, is it not, your studies will make you great, your character will make you great, reading books, reading good books and practicing handwriting, all this will make you great one day. How many of you take it seriously? You cannot see the truth. It will take so many years for us to complete the studies. That's what you think. But this studies only is going to really make you great one day. If you work hard, hard work will make you great one day. But you don't see the truth. Many of you cannot see the truth. Your eyes are blinded by false things. Your eyes are blinded by so many false things. Is it not? What you see in cinema and TV, you think it is true. whereas it is completely false. Whatever your parents and teachers say, you don't understand the truth in it. That means you are blind. So, today you ask yourself a question, am I blind or am I a person with clear-sightedness? No? Can I see things clearly? No? You must see what is true and what is right. Only then you can say yourself that I am not blind. When I see all that is, all the things in the true light, then that means I am not blind. You know, there is a saying, the scripture says, you know the truth and truth will set you free. Truth will set you free. We all want to be free, is it not? This corona has kept us in lockdown. We want to roam freely. We all want to move freely. No? What will make you free, it seems? Only when you understand the truth will make you free. The truth will set you free. So, children, pay attention to what is truth. Okay? So many people will say so many false things, so many lies. Don't believe that. Believe what is right. Always ask yourself whether this is true or not. And pay attention, remain focused on what is true, what is right. Okay, shall we bow down our heads and pray? Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Be safe, children, and take care.
Good morning, students. I hope all are safe at home. Today I am going to continue with geography first lesson. So already we finished about the types of rocks and about earthquake. On the day we discussed about earthquake. Earthquake is what? It's nothing but sudden vibration in the earth crust. And now today we are going to see about tsunami. Do you know what is tsunami? Do you have any idea about tsunami? It is derived from which language word? It is derived from Japanese word which means harbor waves. Do you know why the tsunami waves come to the shore? When it will come? Do you know the reason? When earthquake comes under the ocean floor, earthquake or landslides or volcanoes, huge waves will come to the shore. It will cause damage to the coastal region and also to the nearby places. I will show you one picture of tsunami now. Can you see this picture? The waves, huge waves. This is picture of a tsunami which occurred in 2004. That is exactly next to Christmas Day, that is December 26th. Okay. This is that picture. It caused a lot of damage. Where even Tamil Nadu was affected very badly because of this tsunami. Okay. What happened? Why this tsunami occurred? This 2004 tsunami occurred means it is due to the subduction of two plates. Already we saw about the plate movements in already we discussed in last class. Here what happened? The two plates. Okay, mainly what are the two plates? Indo-Australian plate subducted below the Eurasian plate. Indo-Australian plate subducted means sink it will under which plate? Eurasian plate, so that the tsunami occurred. When it occurred on December 26th, 2004. It was very deadliest natural disaster at that time in 2004. Many died. Okay, many people they died. Do you know in Richter scale that the earthquake it came under the Indian Ocean? What is the magnitude of the Richter scale at that time? It is 9. The magnitude is 9. Okay, so it caused a lot of damage. Okay, it caused a lot of damage. And another thing, do you know the effects of tsunami waves? If tsunami waves are going to come like this, what will be the result? What will be the effects? It will, what is that? Violent flooding will come. The sea water will come to all the nearby places. It will cover that. It will cover all the places. So that is a violent flooding. Okay, it damages the property and life of the people. People also will die. People also will die. Damages all the property. And another thing, it damages all the infrastructure. If waves are going to come like this, what is the meaning of infrastructure? All the basic facilities. Infrastructure in the sense, you could have seen, if you go to Marina Beach in the coastal region, what you can be able to see? You can be able to see big buildings, harbor, ports, roads, everything, no? So huge waves are going to come. All those infrastructure will be affected. Okay, it happened when? In 2004. Another one thing they will say, before tsunami comes, one signal. What is that thing? They will say, if you are enjoying the waves on the beach, so what is that? They will say the waves will recede back. Recede means what? It will move back. Other than what you have to do, you have to move from that area. You have to come out from the beach, because after what they do, that is one signal. Again, immediately within few seconds or minutes, huge waves will come. That is one signal they are saying. Okay, can you understand? Do you know which animal will send tsunami waves before it comes? Do you know the answer? It is elephant. Even in 2004 tsunami, at that time what happened in Thailand, elephants, they started to move inland. They moved away from the shore region, they moved into inland. Inland means what? Far away from the seashore. And then again, if you are at the beach, what you have to do, main thing, another one thing what you have to do, if you feel any shake, earth shake, any movement, slight earthquake movement, anything, means immediately you have to move out. Because if that earthquake is under the ocean floor, surely tsunami will come. Okay, so you have to be alert. Do you know at what speed that waves traveled in 2004 tsunami? It traveled at the speed of 600 km per hour. And do you know the death toll of the 2004 tsunami? Nearly 2,80,000 people died. 2,80,000 people died. I'll show you in picture of 2004 that tsunami. This how the coastal region was damaged totally. Okay, and another thing, these people, they have become homeless. See the homeless people during the time of the 2004 tsunami, they have become homeless. It is a picture of the homeless people in Nagapattinam. Can you see? Okay. Now we are going to see about volcano. Do you know what is a volcano? It is a vent or opening on the surface of the earth from which the hot, solid, liquid or gaseous materials erupts out. Erupts out means it will be thrown out or it will come out from the beneath of the earth. It will come to the surface of the earth. Is called volcano. Okay, do you know from which language word this volcano is derived? It is derived from the Latin word. The word is vulcan. It is named after one Roman god of fire. It was named after one Roman god of fire. Because Romans usually they used to worship all the nature, so they have kept Romans. They have kept god of fire for this volcano. They have kept that name. What is that name? Vulcan. Okay. Then, do you know the components of volcano? I will show you in the picture now. What are the components? 4 main components. If you see the volcano, what are the 4 components? Means first is magma chamber, next vent, then volcanic core and crater. I will explain all these things with the help of the picture. Can you see a volcano is erupting here? It is clear, volcano is erupting, correct? Okay. So this is, can you see that hot liquid, a large pool of hot liquid beneath the surface of the earth. This is the magma chamber beneath, under the earth's surface, okay. You can able to see one way open here, one outlet, straight line. This is the vent. The magma chamber is beneath the earth, and this vent is the open. It serves an outlet so that this magma will come out. It will come out to the surface of the earth. When it comes out, it forms cone-shaped landform. Cone shape. You can able to see cone shape. The shape of the volcano is like a cone. That landform is built. That is called volcanic cone. Top here, at the top of the volcano, you can able to see the crater. What is the crater? It is the bowl-shaped depression found at the top of the volcano, through which the magma, the ash, everything it will flow, it comes out, The magma will flows out, the smoke, everything it will come out. The crater at the top of the volcano. Okay, it is bowl shaped. What is the meaning of bowl shaped depression with raised rim? Raised rim means outer edge. You can able to see bowl shaped depression at the top of the volcano, which is called crater. So what are the flow chambers? Here the what is that first one? The pool of liquid rock found beneath the earth's surface is called magma chamber. The vent, it is open. It serves as an outlet for the air, smoke, ash, even fumes also they will say. What is the meaning of fumes? F-U-M-E-S, fumes means vapor, to come out from this magma, okay, from this magma chamber. When it comes out, it forms the volcano in the shape of the cone, that is the volcanic cone. The top is the crater, okay, bowl-shaped crater from which the volcano will throw out all the magma will flow out. Do you know how volcanoes are classified based on its eruption? Okay, it is classified as follows: active volcano, dormant or sleeping volcano, then dead or extinct volcano. Okay, from the name itself you can say active, so it is very active. Always it throws out lava, ash, fragmented piece. Fragmented means what? It means small pieces. Okay, it throws out. Always it will be active. That is called active volcano. For example, Mount Helens in USA. Okay, next volcano is called dormant or sleeping volcano. From the name you can say sleeping. So it is not showing any sign of volcanic activity for a long time, but suddenly it will erupt. So you will say, from sleeping you will wake up like that, in that same way. When it erupts, it causes unimaginable damage. We can't able to imagine. We can't, that type of loss it is causing. So that is called dormant or sleeping volcano. For example, Mount Fuji in Japan. Then third one is dead or extinct volcano. From the name you can say dead. Okay, totally it stopped its volcanic activity. Permanently it stopped. That is called dead volcano. For example, even in Tamil Nadu, have you heard about Tiruvannamalai? It is an example for dead volcano. Permanently it stopped its volcanic activity. These are the three types of volcano based on the volcanic eruption: active volcano, dormant or sleeping volcano, dead or extinct volcano. Now we are going to see the volcanoes, how volcanoes are classified based on their structure. First we saw how volcanoes are classified based on the eruption. Now based on the structure, shapes. Okay, first composite volcano, it is otherwise called strata volcano. You can able to see, the example is Mount Fuji in Japan. What is the specialty of this volcano? It is called a strata. Strata, what is the meaning of strata? Layers. So what happens in this volcano? When lava comes out, ejects out, what happened? Lava, pumice, P-U-M-I-C-E, pumice, which means light porous rock. Pumice means what? Light porous rock. and ash, everything comes out comes out from this volcano. What happens? It deposits all this porous rock, all the ashes, everything in layers. So you can able to see layers formed in this volcano. So it is called composite volcano or strata volcano. Layers you can able to see. How layers will be formed? Because of multiple eruption. What is the meaning of multiple eruption? Many times a volcano erupted. Whenever it erupts, that all the thing, lava, that rocks, ash, everything, it will be accumulated in layers in this volcano. So you can able to see layers in this volcano. That is the composite volcano or strata volcano. Okay, what is the meaning of pumice? Light porous rocks. That also it will be ejected out from this volcano. Next volcano is volcanic dome. What is the shape of this volcano? It is circular in shape, round in shape. What happens here? Main thing, what is the quality of the volcano? It is viscous. What is the meaning of viscous? Thick. Water is not so thick. For example, I will say an example for a thick thing. Sugar syrup is very thick or not. If you add sugar in water, if you boil, it will become thick. It will not flow easily like water. So same way the lava is thick. Viscous means thick. So what happens and this lava is rich in silica. Since it's very thick, do you know why this lava is this viscous lava is flowing very slowly? Because it is thick. If you pour water, it will go fastly, but if you pour sugar syrup, it will move. No, it will move very slowly. In the same way, this volcanic dome viscous lava, it is moving very slowly, and since it moves slowly, it will not move far away from the vent. Already I said, what is that vent? I showed you, vent is the outlet from that magma chamber. From that only all this ash, smokes, everything it will come out from the earth, okay, from the beneath of the earth. So it is not flowing far away from the vent. Example, this type of volcano you can able to see in Mexico. The name of that volcano is Paricutin. Next volcano is shield volcano. What is the meaning of shield? Usually they will say protection. Even soldiers also they will be having shield to protect themselves like that. Why they are saying this is a shield volcano? You can able to see slopes on all sides. Slopes means sarival. Slopes on all sides in this volcano. Since you can able to see slopes, here also, what is the quality of the lava? It is very intense viscous. What is the meaning of intense? Extremely. Fully it is thick. So here also, it is moving, lava, the thick lava is moving on all sides. How it looks as if it is forming some shield, protection all over the volcano. So it is called shield volcano. The example is Mauna Loa in Hawaii. In this way, volcanoes are classified based on the structure, that is composite or strata, volcanic dome. The third one is shield volcano. Now we are going to see about the constructive effects of volcano and destructive effects. What are the uses? What are the drawbacks we are going to see? In that first one, if volcano is erupted in an area, what happens? It enriches the soil. They are saying enriches the soil means what it means? Some nutrients will be added to the soil. Okay, the soil will become very fertile to cultivate crops. For example, even in India, you can able to see in Deccan Plateau region and all, you can able to see black soil. What they are saying, once for a time volcano erupted in that region, so you can able to see that black soil. Do you know which crop can you cultivate in black soil? You can cultivate cotton. It supports cotton cultivation. Next, another thing, when volcano is going to erupt, it throws out so many materials. One is called debris. Do you know what is debris? Debris is nothing but broken pieces of rocks. That rocks you can use to construct buildings. For building work, we can use. Apart from that, even sometimes you will get precious stones. What are the precious stones like gold, silver? Even that we can able to get because of volcanic eruption. And also, what are the other things you can able to get? You can able to get hematite, which is one iron. It's one iron ore, no, hematite. Even that hematite you can able to get. And next thing, geothermal energy we can able to get. You know, from various things you can able to take current from water means hydro, like that. Solar power means from sun, like the geothermal means from the earth heat. Under the earth you have this heat. It is very hot. No, from that, even from that we can able to get energy. Power, that is called geothermal power. I will show you the picture at the end. Then last is tourist places. Many volcanoes are tourist places. What is the benefit to the government because of these tourist places? Surely government will get income. Okay, many people will go and visit there. They have to pay money to get the ticket, everything. No, so it's an income to the government. So another use is what? Government is getting income because of this volcanoes. It is a tourist place. Okay, next thing, destructive effects. What are the destructive effects? When a volcano is going to erupt, it causes all this thing. Earthquake will come, mudslides will come, rocks will fall suddenly, and floods will come, flash floods will come, and another thing, it causes breathing problem. How it causes breathing problem? You know, the active volcano is going to erupt. We saw already fumes, vapor will come, and smokes will come. What will happen? It creates breathing problem, respiratory problem it creates, suffocation. People near to that area, they can't able to breathe freely. Sometimes they may die also. And that lava which comes out, it will be very hot. People, if they are going to live nearby, it will go and cover them, they have to die, they have to burn and die. So these are the destructive effects. Again, transport system also will be affected. How it will be affected? You know, when volcano is active volcano, already we discussed about active volcano. Constantly, always it throws out what? Lava, ash, fumes means what? Vapor. When it comes out, what happens? It will, if near to this volcanic erupted region, any railway track, roadways are there, means it will go and cover everything. It will affect all the transport. Again, even air transport also will be affected because smoke is going to come, means what will happen? The clarity won't be there. So it affects the air transport also. Do you know why this region around this Pacific Ocean is called Ring of Fire? Can you see Pacific Ocean here, this side and this side? You see why? Mainly you can able to see Japan here, very near to this Pacific Ocean. This area is called Ring of Fire. Why it is so? Because most of the earth volcanoes and earthquake epicenter are located in this region. Okay, one small recap. This is about plate tectonics. In last class we discussed about the three types of the plate movements. First one is what? Convergent. Do you remember what is convergent? That plates, how it will move towards each other. The plate boundaries, it will move towards each other. This is what? Transform boundary. That means the plates will move horizontally. Horizontally means in sideways. You can able to see. In sideways it is moving. The next one is divergent. Now divergent means the plates will pull away from each other. It will pull away from each other. That is called divergent. This is the picture of the earthquake. You can able to see the focus or epicenter. Focus means what? Where the where the earthquake starts, that is called focus. You can able to see epicenter, that straight up, that vertical position from the focus, it is called epicenter. Okay, so this is the earthquake waves. You have studied about 3 waves, correct? P waves, S waves, L waves. Okay, how it has been classified based on the medium it passes through, solid, liquid, gas. So here you can able to see the buildings. It moves and comes, it damages the buildings. Okay, this is the picture of Yellowstone National Park. You can able to, what you can able to see, we have studied that geothermal power they are taking from the heat of the earth. This is one example for that. From that heat, okay, you can able to see how here also the geyser hot water comes out. Since it is very hot, okay, from at the beneath of the earth, they are taking this geothermal energy. This is that picture, Yellowstone National Park, that geyser, and this Yellowstone National Park, that one. So geography first lesson is over today. Revise all the question answer, and in next class we will see economics first lesson. Okay, thank you.